What's going on, guys? Brandon. So I was gonna make some videos tonight, and then I really felt compelled to make videos, but then I was like, nah. So I just made a couple videos outside and just kept my mouth shut. And I'm glad I did. Real long story short, what just came to me, and I'm like, okay, we'll make a video about that. I was just sitting here kind of scrolling through Facebook, doing whatever, and then things come to me sometimes. The real gorgeous Russian girl that I really felt compelled to hang out with, which I thought meant that I was supposed to marry the chick, but then hindsight, I realized it was like looking in a mirror. And I didn't know that at first. I knew I was very drawn to her and everything, but as we hung out, there were a lot of things about her which aggravated me, which I didn't know about her in the beginning. But then hindsight, looking back even further, I realized that I have the same flaws, I guess you'd say, or same personality traits to an extent. And it made me realize, okay, so let's just jump into it. Are you able to be satisfied? And for people who don't put down destinations and instead just say, I just want to progress, and I want to be the best. You've heard the expression, you'll never be satisfied. And a lot of us just don't care. We're like, yeah, because I think it's lame to be satisfied by that and then stop progressing. So that's how I used to kind of look at it, okay, is the best way I know how to put it. But the problem is when you're not satisfiable, we'll just say that, you don't appreciate things as much as you should. You don't show enough appreciation for the things. And so this last year, man, even this whole Corvette thing with the C8s, with me complaining about the E-diffs and all the different things that are wrong with the DCT. I'm not going to get into it all right now, which everybody said I was wrong about. And now Brandon's garage, he lost his DCT, and there'll be more. They're going to keep falling. One by one, they're going to keep falling, failing, whatever you want to say. Because I've really put my finger on what causes them to fail. And I didn't want to explain it. I have explained it, but I didn't want to explain in full how to solve it because, okay, so I've invented the solution, multiple solutions, and I am, I just want to see if there was an address on that thing. I am, even though I've had the solution for a while, then I realized, ooh, there's another way to do it. Ooh, there's another way to do it. And if you would have asked me to patent the idea 6 months ago, even 4 months ago, I wouldn't have properly patented it. General Motors could have gotten around my patent. Other shops could have gotten around my patent. The patent process is a process of invention all in itself, figuring out how to protect the idea, okay? When you know it's very difficult to solve a problem, how do you properly protect the idea? So just in the last 48 hours, I haven't had a lot going on. And so I had a couple things I had to do. And then other than that, I just kind of was sitting around. I was waiting for the MSO to show up so that I could go down to South Carolina and get my tag and title put on the zr1, send it to my buddy, who has the car at the clear wrap shop. But, so I was kind of in limbo all week waiting for that to show up. That's another episode. Remind me to tell you guys about MSOs and General Motors and so on and so forth. But long story short, I'm really thankful for how much time I've been spending in this silly garage with this transmission over here. At all given time, like when I'm in this garage, I am literally 6 feet away from this C8 DCT, okay? So, you can sit there and say, okay, well, who cares? What's the big deal? I really feel like this is going to be something that I have coming, and it's going to be a lot bigger than people think, because it's just like a gateway for me to pursue a lot of different ventures and really just protect my IP, basically. Really, it's going to serve General Motors up a serious punishment. What's going to happen? You know, everybody's like, you're so stupid to stick on this one problem, blah, 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 blah. Once I create the documentary and explain the problem and how serious the problem can be when you experience failures in a high-speed turn, multiple different kinds of failures, I'm really quite content and satisfied with what I've spent my time focusing on the last several years in between C8 joyrides and so on and so forth. And I want you to think about how foolish General Motors is, and I mentioned this before in the past, but I'm going to bring this back up again because it's a really key point. I want you to think about how absolutely brain dead the executives, the lawyers, the engineers, the marketing team, everybody at General Motors has to be, not to sit there and say, hey, you know what? Brandon brings up a great point that none of us had the IQ to figure out on our own back when Christian von Koenigsegg was trying to team up with us back in 2018, 2017, 2018. You know, he's got that special little transmission that's real tiny packaged, and it has the 3 shafts inside, and 3 gears are always engaged with each other. It's a whole different way of doing like a DCT. It's very brilliant the way he does it. So it's much lighter and it's much smaller, and it holds much more power than the Tremec DCT does. So, and it's all proven that it does, you know, he's using it in cars that are making like 2,000 horsepower. So instead of General Motors figure this out on their own, let alone figure it out after I explained it the first time, second time, 10th time, because I was explaining it on Corvette Forum back in 2018, 2019. And the concept is real simple, guys. If General Motors were to mass produce that item, that transmission, and pay Koenigsegg a hefty royalty, Koenigsegg would be crazy not to let GM mass produce it and pay them a hefty royalty. So let's just say Koenigsegg wants $10,000 every transmission sold, and General Motors has to build it. Somebody like Tremec or whoever has to build it. So General Motors still has costs involved. Now, the regular C8 DCT costs General Motors about $7,000 to purchase from Tremec. Who knows what it costs Tremec to actually build? Less than that, obviously, because they're a profitable company when they're not having to cover warranty claims. But let's say that it truly costs General Motors, instead of the $7,500 for the transmission, let's say it costs General Motors $20,000 to buy them off of Tremec or buy them off of whoever manufactures it, okay? Plus the $10,000 that General Motors still has to pay Koenigsegg in royalties. So let's say it costs General Motors $30,000 a transmission. I'm going as high as I possibly could imagine that it could ever cost, but I don't think it could ever cost that much. But we're just going crazy for a second. If you said to me, Brandon, you can buy a Z06, and as a $25,000 upcharge, you can have the Koenigsegg transmission. Do you know why I would buy it? Do you know why I would pay that money? Because the transmission quickly fixes the weight distribution of the car. And when you fix the weight distribution of the car will automatically, by nature, have a different EDIF program when they go to dial it in. And they will soon realize, holy shit, this car is so much faster around lap times. And holy shit, this transmission can hold so much power. We don't have to govern it in first and second gear like they're currently doing on the zr1, which does not make 1,000 horsepower in first or second gear, not even close. Eddie X is such a fucking dunce. I mean, you want to talk about a fucking dunce. I can't believe how well this car puts down 1,000 horsepower when it accelerates. It's unbelievable. That's because it's not actually putting down 1,000 horsepower, Eddie X. And I know that you know that because you actually work at HP Tuners, do you not? So you of all people should know that the car is closing throttle body on first and second gear. And that's why it spins its tires in third gears, because it's governing itself in first and second to protect the transmission and protect from stupid drivers who can't drive and will spin a car. But assuming you go to the drag strip and put on sticky tires, it should make more power, but it doesn't because they got to protect the transmission. If they had the Koenigsegg transmission, they wouldn't have to be doing these governing things. You could turn all that shit off and the car would be even faster. So I want you to think for a second. Not only would you have a faster ring time, you'd have faster drag strip times on the C8 ZR1. And the way you pitch it to the public is you say, only the most ridiculous drivers are going to need the Koenigsegg transmission, and word of warning, this car is much easier to spin because you just say it has a different EDIF program. And oh, this car is going to burn rubber easier, so it's going to be slower 0 to 60 on street pavement because it has less weight in the rear. So GM could still sell plenty of Tremec transmissions because there's still plenty of people out there who say, I'm not going to spend an extra $25,000, $30,000 on top of General Motors already built in $7,500, okay? Because you got to add $7,500 to that, which is how much you're total paying. Because currently when you buy a General Motors Corvette, you're paying for the $7,500 DCT, okay? So we're saying if General Motors tacked on another $30,000 onto that if it costs them $20,000 to build it, you subtract $7,500 from $30,000, which puts you at $22,500. So General Motors' additional costs in worst case scenario La La Land is $22,500 extra. We, the consumer, if we're paying $25 to $30 extra for this transmission to get the Koenigsegg edition, General Motors is still turning extra profit. Now, I want you to think about what I just said, GM marketing girls, you low IQ fucking dunces. The Koenigsegg edition. I want you to think about every snobby Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche guy out there. Oh, that's just a Corvette. Oh, that's just a Corvette. Well, now that it's got the Koenigsegg transmission in it, fine, I could buy one of these because this isn't a Corvette anymore. This is like half a Koenigsegg right here. It's got an engine that's real close to a Koenigsegg and a Koenigsegg transmission. This is a Koenigsegg. Yeah, I'll buy one of these. You're allowing your prissy bitch fucking snob customers to save face and walk away from their exotics and come to Corvette, and you're allowing General Motors to steal the throne. That car, Jim Miro, would go around the ring at below 630. Jim Miro's predictions would be accurate if there was the Koenigsegg transmission option. And not only that, but the car would run cooler. You say, well, how would it run cooler, Brandon? Because heat off the headers and catalytic converters are proximity based. The distance from those to the transmission, it follows the square law of distance. And the more compact that transmission is, that means the more opportunity you have to put in very primitive heat shields and also flow more air through the engine bay because you have less obstruction. The car would run cooler. which means it would make more power more often. Nobody at GM can figure this out. Mark Ruess can't figure this out. Mary Barra can't figure this out. Tadge couldn't figure this out. Haven't heard Jim Muro talk about it. Nothing against him. He's not on the C8 team. Josh Holder couldn't figure this out. None of the fucking lawyers, none of the fucking bean counters, none of the fucking marketing girls. That's who I have the biggest problem with, is marketing girls. Like, you have the opportunity to team up with fucking with Koenigsegg and fucking put a little Koenigsegg badge on the Corvettes and say this is the Koenigsegg transmission. And you guys are too fucking stupid to do that? And you guys wonder why your sales are coming to a fucking screeching halt while you guys build these imaginary, fictitious cars? I ripped a guy tonight about this. Some Facebook friend of Vet Titans puts up all these space-age looking concept cars that don't even drive. These Corvettes built by, this one was built in London, this one's built in California, this one's built in Detroit, this one's built here, this one's built there. Isn't it amazing how General Motors can blow millions and millions of dollars paying all these design studios to build all these fictitious cars that are never going to come to fruition, and they all look fucking identical, when meanwhile, the cars that we, the consumers, are buying don't even say Z06. Excuse me, they say Z06 on the format of the Z06s. They don't even say zr1 on the fucking floor mats. They don't even say zr1 on the fucking headrest. Nowhere on the leather or upholstery or carpet of the fucking zr1 does it say zr1. And General Motors goes from bragging about how they are so cutting edge. Look at us. We have all these cars that don't actually work. Because every time we try to make a car work, Mark Ruess, we fuck it up, don't we, bitch? By the way, I do hope you come to Spring Mountain. I genuinely do. And I'll be respectful. But this video is not going to be respectful because there's nothing to respect right now. We're on a topic where you guys deserve to be filleted like the fucking pigs, fucking fat, lazy pieces of shit that you are, because you can't fucking think, can you, Mark? You and your fucking marketing girls and Aaron Link and Josh Holder and all these fucking numbskulls can't fucking think for shit. Instead of give us a car which doesn't put my life in danger because the EDIF isn't so locked up, and instead the car steps out and it's not weighted like an old school Porsche because you put the lighter weight Koenigsegg transmission in the back that Christian von Koenigsegg begged you to fucking use. You self-absorbed, fucking prideful, self-absorbed shitbags. Instead of you guys run sub 630 at the ring and me being a safe car that you don't have to lock up the EDIF so much and I can drift the car around like the non-Z51, instead of you guys do that, instead of you guys have a Z06 that can go sub 7 at the ring finally, and have a sub 630 zr1, instead of you guys do that, what do you guys do? What do you guys do? You put in a transmission that everybody behind the scenes, and you listen to me very carefully, fucking Mark Ruess, you listen to me, you fucking, I don't even know what the word is. You are so in fucking denial about how much shit people talk about your cars behind the scenes. Everybody that comes up to me at car shows and whatever, hey man, you're right, the car is weird. You're right. Even the fucking other YouTubers, yeah, it doesn't handle right. It's weird. Whether it's Savage Geese or any of these guys, you get them behind closed doors, they all admit the cars have fucking flaws. I'm not going to name the people who are actually my friends because I'm not trying to throw them under the bus. I have not met one person other than fucking Justin at Horsepower Obsessed who doesn't admit the car is flawed. Everybody behind the scenes admits the car is flawed. Everybody that goes to VIR that I know that has these cars, they all say they're fucking flawed. What do you think it's going to take to fix these cars, Brandon? I don't know. I only make a fucking video about it every fucking day. But don't worry, guys. I'm fixing it. We're getting there. But the point is, Tad's retired by choice, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you that if there is not a Koenigsegg option transmission in the C9, that Mark Ruess absolutely needs to retire, because there is no logical reason why you wouldn't charge an extra $25,000 for a Koenigsegg transmission and not see people run and line up at the fucking dealerships after all the stink that I've made about these fucking unweighted cars the proper way. And for the average person who just wants to race stoplight to stoplight, all these fucking old geezers who want to say, oh, I'm part of the... See, here's where you guys fucked up. You should have never published the time of your regular DCT at the ring, Mark. You stupid fuck. Your 711, 710, C8, Z06 wouldn't even be a time, Mark. Instead, you'd have a sub-7 ring time with the Koenigsegg transmission, and everybody could kid themselves that the Tremec DCT is right behind it. You'd have a sub-630 zr1 time, and everybody would kid themselves that the fucking zr1 and the zr1x with the regular DCT Tremec transmissions right behind it by just a few seconds. But you guys are too fucking stupid, aren't you, Mark? Admit it, you fucking idiot. I've been explaining this since 2019, and fucking Deb Lowe and every other fucking moderator and Corvette forum sat there and told me why I was wrong. You guys are such low IQ shit, trash, maggot fucks who ruin a fucking brand. And you say, Brandon, the car's fast. The car can get you fucking killed. And everybody who races them at the racetrack feels it. We all feel it. And instead of give us an option, you're going to get fucking sued instead, Mark. You're going to end up getting sued in the biggest fucking Corvette class action you've ever seen. Because when I start releasing the solutions that I have coming, everybody's going to go, hmm. Hey, Brandon, can I buy that for my car? Including Taj and fucking self. Taj will buy my shit. You watch, Mark. Just don't listen to me. Do the opposite of what I say, and you're going to be ruined soon. See ya. Time to retire, Mark.